Hi friends! Well, thank you for joining us yet again. We've got another episode today, and this one we are specifically talking about morning routines. We're going to each share our morning routine, which is actually not the same. There are parts of it that are the same. The benefits from adopting and sort of making a morning routine that fit for us. And something else that's super exciting, you have to wait to the end of the episode to see it, but basically it's something that I did based on what I was doing with my morning routine, and I think you're gonna love it, and you're gonna want it too.
Guaranteed.
So thank you for being here. Our morning routine, when I say morning routine, I don't mean shuttling the kids to school, making them breakfast. That's part of your everyday, you have to do it. This is a morning routine specified for you to make you better in all the things that you do through the day. And it wasn't until about 2 years ago that we really put a practice forward and started doing something.
Yeah, so remember 2 years ago, I had a normal schedule, somewhat normal, and she was getting up at 2:30 in the morning every single day. So for me, I developed this routine. It was based on a couple books I read. One of them was,
nerd.
Yeah, big book nerd. But one of them was called The Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. So we'll put links in the show notes to that. It's a huge book. So if you're not into reading like huge books, this probably isn't a book for you. So we'll just kind of give you the spoiler alert here. But basically what he does is he interviews some of the biggest name people out there in business, and as far as athletes, as far as people who are big influencers in the world. So he interviews these people, and one of the things he asks every single one is, what's your morning routine? What does a day look like with you? And he was basically trying to get information of like what makes these people different from you and I. And some of these morning routines really surprised me. So I thought, well, I'm going to start a morning routine, right? I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. If these people are really successful in all different areas of life and they have a morning routine, I'm going to develop my own. And so that's what I did. I developed my own, and she would, find out about my morning meditations, and she's like, what the heck is meditation? And I got into what I call guide journaling. It's a little bit different than what she does. And so we just developed this morning routine, and it wasn't perfect, and it never will be. It's always grown and adapted, and I think that's what's so fun is it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be doing what everybody else is doing. We're just going to share with some ideas that I do, that she does. We do different things that really help us out and really start our day off with purpose.
I think that's what the point you need to drive home is this should not be perfect every day. You shouldn't strive for perfection. It should be consistent. So come the weekend, we don't do much of the morning routine because the kids are there. We want to sleep in a little bit with them. We want to have a little bit of a day off, and that's okay. So I don't want you to start something and then think, oh, day 6, it's Saturday, I didn't do it, I failed. That's not the point of it. The point is to keep doing it consistently, and then it becomes a habit. And a habit, we know, is just like brushing your teeth. If you don't do it, it feels weird, right?
Yep.
You got that stuff in your mouth. It's just like a morning routine. You feel off because you didn't do it. So he actually inspired me to start a morning routine because I started to see him grow. And if you're married, you don't want to grow apart, right? You want to grow together. And so I started seeing him, his days just were better. Like just his whole, everything about him was better. You were more patient. You approached the day better. You felt more productive. And I saw that just in the way he treated me and the kids and others. So I knew that there was something to what he was doing, but I'm stubborn. Because he did it first, and then I didn't want to be like, oh, sure, now I'll do it. I always want to be the first to do things, and I wasn't. But I realized that he was seeing so many benefits from it. His morning routine looks a little different than mine, but go ahead and just in a nutshell.
Okay, so what I started off with is when I wake up, I want to start my day off with gratitude. And so how I do that is I do meditation. Now, I've tried many different forms of meditation. I tried doing it on my own, had some success. I got bored with it, and I found the app called the Calm app. So I'll put a link in the show notes to that, and it's like $50 a year, but if you're intentional with it, it's guided meditation, and it's really good. I really, really like it. And so I start every day with that, and it's about 10 to 15 minutes a day of meditation, okay, the days that we're doing our morning routine. And then from there, I feel all energized, like, okay, I got my mind set. Then I'm a big fan of this thing called the Panda Planner. Now, I will tell you this, if you're very meticulous type OCD, you want to schedule out every half hour of the day from morning to when you go to bed, you're gonna love this thing. She doesn't want to do that. So for me, I bought her one of these and she looked at it and she's like, no. I'm not doing this.
I did it for 2 days.
But we have so many things going on, right? So we have 2 kids that are in sports. I'm a full-time firefighter. I have my online business. I still want to work out every day. So I have so many different things going on. And what happens is if I just close my eyes and just kind of do this, I can kind of wander in different directions and I feel like I don't get anything done. You ever felt like that where at the end of the day, you're like, what the heck did I do today? I got nothing done. So with the Panda Planner, I look at it and I say, okay, what are the things I want to accomplish today? What times will I accomplish them? And it also turns on the on and off switch. So if I'm not done and at 11 a.m. I was moving on to the next thing, I stop. And I think that's where I got in trouble is sometimes I just kept diving in and then I'd go down this like rat hole and I'd be like, oh crap, I didn't get anything else done. So if you are OCD like me, you're gonna love the Panda Planner. And I'll say this, just disclaimer, we're not affiliated with them at all. There's no commissions made if we recommend this. It's just something that I use, I really like. A friend of mine, George Lawton, recommended it to me. And so this is my 3rd one right here.
Once again, another friend that's highly successful based on a morning routine.
Yep.
So that sort of is your compass for the day.
Yes.
Once you write it all out. Another thing I know that you got me hooked on. Now, remember, I came from a job that I would get up at 2:30 in the morning. And so some of these things didn't start until after. But one of his things that actually I think you learned it from one of the books you read was getting up every morning and making your bed. And you would be surprised the amount of people out there, and I'm not shaming anyone because we were these people too, that get up and just don't make your bed, right? Like you think it's so silly, it's just a bed, right? There is something so satisfying about waking up and getting one thing done the minute your feet hit the floor. And if the day goes to crap, it's those little things that at least keep you going feeling like you had some sort of success. I'm telling you, I've always said this, the little things add up to the big things. And instead of, at the end of the day saying I got nothing done, you did get something done. I know, this sounds silly me saying it out loud, but if you're like me, where if you don't get all the things done, then you failed. You have to start changing your mind and looking at, I got some things done that were important and I didn't fail, and focusing on that.
It's a guaranteed win every day. So that's what we teach our kids is the kids have to make their beds before they come downstairs because it's a guaranteed win. You get to start your day off with a guaranteed win. You get to make that choice.
Yeah. And I think speaking of the kids, what we do with them is they each at the beginning of the year get a new whiteboard. Yeah. Seriously, Walmart, $2.50, and they have a little whiteboard. It's put up in their room, and it's a little checklist, and it's simple things: making the bed. One of them feeds the dog in the morning, brushing teeth, that kind of stuff. Putting your pajamas away. A few of those things. They have to do those things before they come downstairs, and we're instilling some bit of a routine, of a morning routine. And it's not the task; it's the idea of waking up with a purpose to get something done. That's what we want them to learn earlier on than later, right? It's a lot harder to learn anything when you're older. When you're young, you're a big sponge and you just absorb it all. So my morning routine came because I don't like to be one-upped by him in everything.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a good thing because he pushes me when I get stuck, and I was stuck, and I was in a really icky place a couple of years ago, mind-wise. And so I saw what he was doing, and he, of course, is like, well, you have 24 hours in the day, too. Like, I didn't.
No excuses, woman. That's what I told her. No excuses. I don't want to hear it.
And he tells me what I don't want to hear, which is exactly what I need to hear. So he's my person, right? So, of course, I got mad at him because I didn't want to hear that. But then after a while, I was like, well, I'm going to try it. So I had a friend gift me a journal, and it took me a little while to start using it. And I did. I thought, okay, I have my morning down to a science because I woke up so early and I didn't want any extra time diddly-daddling around, and I didn't see a morning routine as purposeful yet. But I was desperate to try to get my mind better. And so I woke up, I got ready for the day, and I would sit for an extra 10 minutes with my coffee before I jetted out the door, and I would journal in a guided journal and sip coffee, and I would pray in the car. And then I stopped listening. I used to listen to news driving into work, and I stopped. And I still now, actually right now, I don't because I can't have that in my mind. So in the morning, I either don't listen or watch any TV. Now that I'm in a place where I have a little bit more flexibility in the morning, my morning routine looks like this. I wake up at least an hour before the kids get up, 5 o'clock usually.
5 a.m., yeah.
Have coffee. I sit. I do a guided journal. I have some sort of devotion that I read and or listen to, but I usually just read it.
And that's on the Bible app?
That's on the Bible app.
Okay.
I love the YouVersion Bible app because you can pick like a week-long devotion, and it makes the Bible less intimidating. It makes it applicable to what you're going through. You can just search, worry, or search, being patient, and it will find something that's tailored to you. So I just pick a new one every week, and that gives me a little bit of focus that day. And so then usually by 6 o'clock, that's done, and I've spent a little time. It's usually too when I write for the things that I'm doing for all of you. And in a perfect world, the kids will sleep at least till 6:30, but that sometimes doesn't happen. So sometimes it gets cut short. But like when I started it, when I was working, it changed completely. When I stopped listening to doom and gloom, on TV.
You wanted to listen to positive stuff.
I would listen to a podcast on the way to work, some sort of self-development. I would pray. I actually enjoyed the morning drive to work so much. It was quiet. It was 3:30 in the morning, and that was when I was finally able to just be calm, and I couldn't do anything but drive and talk to God. So it was great. It was wonderful. In fact, that's probably what I miss most, is that portion of the day. So now the morning routine looks like that, and it really does guide my day. The journaling changed my life, like completely. Now, the journal I was using had an evening portion. Hello, not made for us moms. Actually, not made for a lot of people, because I do not like to go back at night and then reassess. Like I will pray with the kids at night or whatever, but I'm too tired. I even say to myself, I'm going to lay in bed tonight and read a chapter in a book. Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So it wasn't happening. That wasn't useful for me. So I thought I could make something better, right?
Yeah.
I could make one that would fit me, and maybe somebody else might like it too. Somebody that's navigating life at the same age, around the same age. We're all going through a lot of the same things, and I feel like so many of us are actually more alike than we are different. We're just afraid to share what we really feel like and how we're feeling, because we don't want to be shamed. We don't want to look like we don't have it together. We don't want to look like that mom. Well, we're all that mom. No one's talking about it. So journaling helped, really, that and a little therapy. I have a life helper. She helped. And so
it wasn't me. It was somebody else. Yeah.
No, I put too high of expectations because that's not fair, so I did. So all of that came
So show us what you're working on there.
To this.
Yeah. She's a rambler, guys. Big rambler. Yeah.
I'm not rambling.
Okay.
You're not guiding this interview
That's
very
true.
well.
Okay. Yeah.
Seriously, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm really proud of you.
I know.
A couple of months ago, over a cup of coffee, she says, I don't like this journal because when I don't do it at night, I feel like a failure.
I feel like a failure.
So I was like, well, then to create your own. I always say, if there's something broken and you think you can fix it, fix it. I'm like, why don't you create your own? She's like,
I did that.
I'm not qualified to create my own journal. I'm like, why not? Why don't you just do it? And she did it.
Yeah, once again, he believed in me before I believed in myself. So I went out and I actually wrote a page of what each page would look like, and it's guided. So there are inside of this book, the You Do You journal, there are 6 questions that help navigate your day. Today I'm grateful for, today I'll treat my body kindly by, today I will treat my mind lovingly by, 3 things I'll accomplish today, how will I make that happen, and what I love about myself today. And every day starts with a blank date. Start it whenever you want. Don't get caught up if you miss 3 days. Don't feel like a failure. That's why you put in the date. You just pick up and start again. And there is some sort of inspiration, motivation that I picked out specifically that has been on my heart for 90 days. There's 90 days of inspiration and guided questions in here for you. And it is a simple but powerful way to start your day. So many of us moms run around not knowing what we're doing that day. We're wandering. We don't feel like we don't get anything done. Sometimes if we have this long to-do list, and we think if we didn't get the whole list done, we suck. But if you just maybe put out 3 things, and some days 3 things are, you know what, I heard from a woman the other day, I have severe anxiety. I don't even leave the house. Today I went and I returned a book to a store. That was one of her 3 things. How powerful is that? She totally took her life in her hands that day and became stronger than her anxiety because she told herself she was going to do it based on what she wrote down. And making a commitment and putting a high expectation on yourself, you wanna never let yourself down.
So what is the name of your journal? I'm coaching her up here. What's the name of your?
You Do You Journal. I already said it once.
Okay, the You Do You Journal.
Yes.
And the reason why is when we were coming up with this name, her famous thing is like, well, you do you, you do you. And I'm like, if I hear this you do you one more time, then I'm like, well, you might as well just call your journal the You Do You Journal, because that's all you ever say is, you know, if anybody says anything bad about somebody, she goes, oh, they do them, you do you.
I'll do me, you do you.
So,
okay.
So then another part of this was she tested it out with some of her close girlfriends in the beginning, and they were talking about it. And I was like, wouldn't it be nice if other people who started using your journal had the opportunity to do the same thing, to kind of talk back and forth with their friends? So tell them about what you created. I might have sparked the idea, but she created it.
The private group?
Yeah.
So it's not just a journal. Obviously, the journal is a tool for you to start learning to love yourself again, all through intention and gratitude. But there's something powerful about being around people that are like-minded on the same journey as you. So when you get the journal, there is a private Facebook group waiting for you. I'm in there every single day. People just like you and I that have this journal, that need the love, the encouragement, that need the push, that need to be told, today I can get out of my anxiety, I can go and take that book back to the store. People need people to feel loved, to feel able to do things with their life, right? So this group it's beautiful, and it's like organically growing, and it's so wonderful. And we have like, I don't even know how many people we have in there right now, but I'm in there twice a week live, and we're talking and we're having great conversation. We're all in there every single day. It is seriously what I think is missing in so many women's lives is a friendship. A woman to come alongside and grab your hand and say, I'm gonna help you get to the finish line, you know? And we're all so competitive sometimes, or we get trapped into that competitiveness, jealousy, envy, when really I think all of us fall victim to that, but all of us just want somebody to come alongside and say, can I help you? Can I say something to you that will help make you feel better? Can I help you believe in yourself? And everybody's life and what they're going through is relative to what you are facing right now. But it's all the same. It all ends up being the same. We're all just trying to relearn who we are and feel confident and be given permission to be who we are. Because that right there is probably the most freedom you'll ever feel in your life.
It's just really cool to watch your transformation, seeing her transformation where she was like, what are you doing getting up in the morning? What do you do? To now she's embraced it, and now you're helping other people, you know, do the same thing. And it is amazing to see, and it's very feminine, I will say. So
it's not like it wasn't.
It's not like this right here where I'm like 6:30
Hey.
a.m., 7 a.m. I'm eating breakfast. 8:30 I'm doing this, you know, it's nothing like that. It's more of like, you do you, girl.
It is,
you know?
yeah, it's sister, but it is not, I would say, gender specific, but it does have a very feminine tone to it. So I love you men. I really.
There's a few men in the group.
Yeah, and I'm grateful. I just want you to know, obviously, from where I come from and my mindset, yeah, it is a little bit more soft and feminine, but that's what I wanted to share with, you know, my fellow sisters out there. I just really believe that we have the ability to take control of our lives, but in order to do that, in order to love the people that are front and center in your life, the people outside of your life, the hard to love ones, you got to love yourself first. And until you can start to appreciate you, see your worth and see your value and see how God made you and see how just wonderful. Like, he did not make you on accident. You were so on purpose. And until you believe that, you're not going to be able to go and share that with anybody else. So that's the goal of this. Yes, it's an integral part of my morning routine, but there's so much more than it just being a journal.
Yep. So that's all we got for you today. Time to wrap up. But we do want you guys to subscribe to the show, like, comment on this, let us know what you're doing. And of course, you can see on the screen right now, we have links to the You Do You journal below. So if it's something you want to check out, or you just want to check out what it's all about, learn more about it, definitely give that a click on the button, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.